Okay, here we go. So anyway, I like that the chorus is no one will listen to you, no one will listen to you. This is like one of my favorite albums that just dropped about 6 months ago, and I know I look like shit, man. I got no reason to look otherwise. So, but anyways, yeah, no one will listen to you. I love that, you know. So I was just watching this guy. I was just watching this video, and it's this channel, and he talks about you know, the shots and how people are omitting the BLE frequencies and stuff, and you can pick it up on a on a Android phone or whatever, and all these people are omitting these, right? And so he talks about this, and he he has equipment so that he can verify it, you know. But I mean, you know, it's like I get the sense that there's a lot of people that understand this and know that it's a real thing and know that it's going on. But beyond that, it's like, well, what can you do? What do you want anybody to do about any of it? Like, what? Okay, it's happening. Yeah. Nobody. I don't really necessarily see anybody argue that it's not. I haven't seen anybody argue that it's not. But then again, I'm not on Facebook. And I'm not on TikTok. I don't even really use YouTube hardly at all, except to watch like true crime or something. So I don't know, but so the guy, you know, frequently for years now, at least a couple of years, will continue to, you know, do videos where he's talking like he's addressing people that don't believe him or something, but I've never seen these people that are questioning it or challenging it. And so I don't know who he's talking to, you know, but he does this fairly often. And which is fine. I mean, whatever, you know. Everybody's got their thing that they want to talk about. And that's one of his main focuses of his channel is the BLE frequencies that are coming off of people that got the, you know, the and so, you know, I didn't get so I mean, beyond being aware of what people are saying, it doesn't really affect me, or the shedding, you know, beyond all that, like, it doesn't really apply to me. I mean, there's nothing I can do about people who got the omitting BLE, you know, frequencies. Like, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, I believe it, and I know that I could set up my phone and I could walk around and I could see that there are people omitting these BLE frequencies. I know. I'm not going to. Because even if I were to set up my phone and do that, like, what is it going to change anything? No. And it isn't like I don't believe that it isn't happening. But at the same time, it's like, well, there isn't really much I can do about it, you know. it's not going to surprise me if that's true. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I was wrong all along. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing, what do you want? What is it that can be done? You know, I don't know. So, but he does this like often. He's always like talking like that people don't believe him. And like I said, I've never seen anybody, you know, that's like, I don't believe it. It's not real. It's not, you know. So he addresses what appears to me to be an imaginary audience that doesn't believe him. And it's like, whatever. I mean, I guess there must be somebody out there that doesn't believe him. I've never seen anybody challenge it, though. I've never seen anybody arguing like, this is not what is going on. But then again, I'm not on Facebook and TikTok and shit like this, so I imagine there's somebody somewhere who's like, no, there are not people emitting BLE frequency. I mean, I guess, but where are they? I don't know. I never seen. So, but anyways, going back to that song where it's like, no one will listen you. Like, I think that's funny because, because that's what his whole video is about, is he's claiming nobody's listening to him, which first of all, I don't see that. I don't see how people are unaware of the BLE phenomena. But then again, I'm not on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and, you know, but everybody on Rumble and everybody on Odyssey and everybody on BitChute and probably a ton of people on YouTube all agree that there's this BLE phenomenon. I guarantee you, you'll be hard pressed to find one person that is saying that isn't happening on Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. Nobody on these platforms is saying that at all. And these are the platforms this guy uses. So, you know, when he's putting out once a month or more, once every 2.5 weeks for like years, that addressing some audience that isn't listening to him, I don't know who he's talking about. You know, I don't know who this could be. And not only that, it's like a really popular, sexy, trendy, fashionable thing to talk about the BLE thing. And not only is there no one negating that. Whenever people do talk about it, everybody's like, oh my God, this is groundbreaking video you're making. I'm so glad you're doing it, you know. So who are these people he's addressing? I don't know. Maybe he's going cross-platform and he's on TikTok and Facebook or something, but I don't use those, you know, for obvious reasons, you know. So I don't know who he's addressing, you know. But then when he goes beyond that and he starts talking about how you have all these people that are putting more emphasis on like nanotechnology with the shot than just the simple BLE. So he starts really going into that, where he's upset because everybody's just kind of not really focusing that as much on BLE as they are on the more exciting and you know, the more like alien side of the you know, where it's like there are these it's like the Terminator. When it's injected, it's like the Terminator and it's all nano and it's like alien and stuff. And so he's getting really upset that, you know, it's more popular to fixate on the alien technology from the, you know what, right? Than just the simple, like, there's BLE frequencies fucking emitting from these people. And so all the popular channels, well, because that's where the clicks, likes, and views are, is to talk about how, you know, it's like, it's alien technology that they've injected into people. That is more appealing. The audience is more drawn to the sci-fi side of the story, where it's alien technology that they're injecting, and the nanobots are infecting and they're taking them over, and they're, you know, they like, people like that story. You know, they like that story because it's exciting. It's like you know, that's exciting. That is like, wow, they injected everybody with this alien technology and it's turning into reptilians and stuff. They're attracted to that. And so all these popular and trending channels, they go with that story because it draws the audience. Whereas if you're just talking about like that people are emitting BLE frequencies because of the, I mean, it's like, yeah, but there's nothing sexy about that. Beyond, it's not really, it's kind of sexy, but beyond that is just kind of like, well, what about the story about, you know, how it's turning people into transhuman reptilianoids? That's the story I want to hear, because it's like, wow, that's way more popping. And so he's like really frustrated that everybody would be drawn to that story. How the alien technology was injected and is turning people into reptilianoid robots. That's what everybody wants to hear. So all the popular and trending channels are all talking about how the injection turned everybody into transhumanoid reptilians and shit. And everybody's flocking to that story. They're like, yeah, this is so, oh my God, this is so, oh my God. Whereas him, all he's covering, he's just covering the real story, the real thing, which is that everybody's emitting these BLE frequencies from them, you know. And so he's like, once every couple weeks, he's putting out a video for years where he's pissed off because nobody's listening to him when he's talking about the BLE frequency, because everybody wants to hear how the injection is turning people into transhumanoid reptilians. They all want to hear that, and so they're all flocking to that, and he's not getting, you know, and he's explaining how important this story is about the BLE frequencies that all these people are emitting, and how everybody cares more about the transhumanoid reptilian angle to the story than the actual truth, which is that people are. So he just goes on, right? And so a lot of is complaining like that no one's listening to him. That's why I played that song at the beginning where it's like, no one will listen to you. And see, the reason I laugh is because so when he's going on and ranting about this, he's explaining how he has all these facts. Like, he can show you facts about the BLE thing, and yet still people are you know, all the popular trending channels keep putting out these transhumanoid reptilian stories about the injection, and that everybody's listening to that and talking about that as opposed to just the basic simple fact of the BLE. And his argument is people should really be looking into this BLE thing because this is where the facts are. But instead, everybody's putting out the sensational, you know, story of transhumanoid reptilians and shit instead of focusing on the real story, which is the BLE shit, right? And so and you know, and so I empathize because, you know, I've done the same thing. I for when I ran my channel for like 7 years, I was spitting out facts about something that's real. And nobody's like listening. Nobody cares because everybody wants to flock to whatever the trendy popular story is, you know. And it doesn't even matter. It just doesn't even matter. Like, the story that I'm saying could be way more important than what's popular and trending, but it doesn't matter because everybody just wants to flock to what's popular and trending. So then what he does is he whenever he puts out these videos like once a whatever, it could even be once a week or something, like, you know, it fluctuates depending on what's happening, but probably average like every 2 weeks he's putting out a video complaining about this and defending himself by saying, dude, I can show you fucking facts all day long about this BLE thing. And I can debunk these people with these fucking transhumanoid reptilian stories regarding the injection thing. Like, and so he's really frustrated about it. You know, he's always venting his frustration about it, and he has for years. So so that's why, like, when I show that video at the beginning of that band where it's like, no one will listen you. See, someone like me, I've been doing this like okay, my coverage of the homeless issue, you know, the over 1 million displaced U.S. citizens, and how it relates to all kinds of real, it's like a real conspiracy that everyone is ignoring because it's not popular and trendy. Well, I've been doing this for like 17 years, and no one listens to me. Just like that song says, no one will listen to you, right? So I've been doing this for 17 years and nobody listens to me. And it relates with all kinds of shit. Like, you got tons of people want to debate the Constitution and are claiming that they care about constitutional rights. But when I bring up the unconstitutional policing of over 1 million displaced homeless U.S. citizens, it's like crickets. Like, it doesn't even register to them at all. They just, it's like they're tunnel vision. They don't even see it, and they just keep going on about my Constitution. While they ignore over 1 million fucking displaced U.S. citizens they have been stripped of their constitutional rights more than any other group of people in this entire nation. Yet all these so-called constitutionalists, they don't even see it or even care to, while they hypocritically go on and on about my Constitution. So no one listens to me, and I have presented facts. I can easily present facts all day long on this shit, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I were to do. I could, I could present the most perfect presentation on all this and with everything. Do you think that it will have any kind of impact at all on anyone? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can show how, because people ignore this fucking exponentially growing phenomena of over 1 million U.S. displaced homeless citizens, that by ignoring it is what's going to bring martial law. There already is martial law. They're employing martial law on this over 1 million displaced citizens all day, every day. Like, this is all really happening, as opposed to Richie from Boston talking about how, martial law is coming and stuff like that. It's not. It's already been here. You just refuse to see it because it isn't happening to you. I can go on. And again, I've been doing this for 17 years. Nobody listens. And I can present facts upon facts upon facts. But see, if people are interested in the facts, then what's the point in presenting it to them? So I've been experiencing this for fucking, and when I look at what he's talking about, the jib jab. That's like one of the most popular subjects online, is that. Whereas what I'm talking about has never been popular. And so when I see him getting all frustrated, I can't help but laugh. And he was aware of my channel. He knew that what my channel, and he would engage. But the thing is, he wasn't ever really like, oh my God, like this, like trying to pump out the information or help me at all. He was just a passive observer, and he would passively agree, like, yeah, that's true. But he would never include it. And it's like, it's directly tied to like everything. Like, when you talk about the jabs, dude, nobody was mandated jabs more than the homeless, the over 1 million. Dude, you know how easy it is to forcibly inject a homeless, like, those people got forced injections of this stuff more than anyone else in the fucking country. So why isn't he talking about that? Because he's talking about the jabs. But no. But you see, and this is provable. I can prove this shit. But he ain't listening to me. Outside of just passively like, yeah, I guess you're right, but it doesn't matter. But then yet he's complaining that nobody's listening to him. I love that song is just so appropriate, especially with online culture. Like nobody's listening to anybody. That's what's hilarious about the whole thing about free speech. Well, what good is free speech if nobody listens? You know? And again, I've been doing this for 17 fucking years. Nobody ever listens. Nobody ever does. Dude, I was warning people years before the lockdown that if people continue to ignore this crazy phenomena with over 1 million displaced homeless U.S. citizens, that it's coming for them because they get locked down all the time. Like all this martial law and fucking lockdowns and police state that's already been happening to these over 1 million every day, all day. Police state martial law is happening to these over 1 million people. And I was warning people years before the lockdown that if people continue to ignore this, all this martial law and a police state that's been employed on these over 1 million displaced homeless citizens for all these years, it's going to start coming for them. Then what happened? Then you look at 2019 and 2020. I had been warning people for years. Nobody cared. Then boom, lockdown. I mean, I'm just laughing. At this point, I've been warning people for so long, nobody cared, that when it does happen, after I've been warning people and no one will listen to me, no one will listen yet. Like, I've been telling people for years before fucking 2018 or 2019 and 2020 that shit was coming. Because of the way they've been employing martial law and a police state on the over 1 million displaced homeless U.S. citizens for years before 2019, 2020 lockdowns. So I've been telling people all these years before 2019, 2020, that the lockdown, the martial law and police state that's been employed on all these homeless people is coming for them. If they keep ignoring this shit, it's going to come for them. Then it happens, just like I said it would. No one listened to me, and so then I kept doing my channel up until 2023. Still no one listens to me, and I can provide facts. But see, nobody even wants the facts. They don't care. And so now this guy, like every probably averages every 2 weeks for years now, has been complaining that nobody listens to him about the jab, which that is one of the most sexy, hot, flavor of the year subjects online is the jab. What I was been taking on for 17 years is the most unpopular thing that is the most applicable to modern times. Like all that fucking police state martial law that they have been employing on the over 1 million homeless U.S. citizens for all these years. I said, the more people continue to ignore it, it's gonna come for them. This martial law police state shit that they've been employing on the homeless all these years is gonna start coming for everyone else if people keep ignoring it. Nobody listened. Then 2019 and 2020 happened. And it's like, well, fucking Ray fucking Charles himself saw that shit coming. And I guarantee you, nobody's listening to this video now. Nobody's being like, yeah, you got a really good point. Nobody is, man. But see, it is a good point. And so eventually, after it's far too late, everybody's going to start talking about it. It's going to become the sexy flavor of the year subject. Homelessness. Because they're going to keep they're going to keep manufacturing homelessness more and more, to the point where no matter how desperately people want to ignore it, they're not going to be able to anymore. Especially when it's like they're faced with it, you know? And so, yeah, no one will listen to you. And that's why I laugh. That's why I laugh at It's the Jays. These guys at It's the Jays. I laugh at them because even if they are right, nobody's going to listen to them any more than anybody listened to me. So I just laugh at them like, dude, and none of those people would ever listen to me anyways. No matter what I say, they think that they know better. And it's called humility. Humility means being teachable, being able to listen to other people. There is no humility today. Nobody's listening to anybody.
That's why I love that, even though it was from the Amazing Atheist, and I do not agree with the majority of Amazing Atheists, he did point that out. He said, what good is freedom of speech when no one listens? It's true. Listening requires humility. People don't have humility. You would be hard-pressed to find people in your life that have humility. You couldn't even count them all on one hand. There is no humility. Nobody's listening to anybody. So, you can talk about even the most sexy, hot, flavor of the year subjects. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's gonna. The only thing that people want to hear is what they want to hear. This is why for years now I've pointed out that fucking line in that movie, The International. It was a fucking gem where they're like, the guy's like, dude, this is what you need to know about the truth. There's what people want to hear. There's what people want to believe. There's everything else. Then there's the truth. And that's mainstream media putting that out on that movie, The International. And the other one, there's a bunch of gems like this. Like in Running Man, I'm always bringing that scene in the Running Man up where the guy's like, well, we can hijack the satellites and then we can broadcast the truth. And then the guy starts laughing at him like, the truth? I don't know if you've noticed, but the truth hasn't been very popular. Like, that's the truth. The truth is that the truth is not popular. And the truth is that, there's what people want to hear. There's what people want to believe. There's everything else. Then there's the truth. So if you really are trying to put out truth, nobody's going to listen to you. No one will listen to you. Don't you understand? But see, like this guy, he's known about my channel, and he's like just kind of passively like just kind of observed it and not really cared, when you can easily tie in the subject that I've been covering to jabs and all kinds of shit. But nobody's picking up on it. Nobody is. And like I said, by the time they do, it's going to be too late. They're going to already be ushering everyone into their pods to eat the bug sandwiches. You will own nothing and be happy. That's what this manufactured homelessness thing is all about. You will own nothing and be happy. But nobody's paying any attention to the homeless thing at all. And it just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And, no one will listen to you, man. It doesn't matter. And so again, none of those It's the Jays people will ever listen to me at all. But then they expect that I should be listening to them, that what they have to say is so important. It's like, no, that's not the way reality works. Like, people are so fucking retarded from social media that they've mistaken social media for reality. And that's just not the way the real world works. If you want to be heard, you need to you need to be able to listen. And if you're not able to listen and you don't have the humility to listen to others, well, then don't expect to be heard. You're not going to be heard, But, so this guy, he's like always going on that nobody's listening, it's like, whatever. He's got a way bigger audience than I've ever had. I mean, I don't know what he's even complaining about. Like, not only that, the subject that he's covering is one of the sexiest, hot subjects online and has been for fucking 2 years, 3 years. So I don't know what his complaint is, And it goes back to what Snowden. There was an interview with Snowden that I watched, and I'm not a fan of Snowden. I'm not like, yeah, we need to do. But dude, Snowden fucking just nailed the head with the hammer when he was talking about how there's all kinds of fucking massive real conspiracies that go on in front of our face all day, every day, that we even get daily updates on by mainstream media, and nobody cares about any of them at all. Because everybody wants to hear how this injection is turning people into, transhumanoid Terminator reptiles. That's all they want to hear about.
And so we bring all this on ourselves as a collective, as a whole. We don't want the truth. So I don't know. I don't know what, he can go rail on and on about how nobody's listening to him, and it's like, well, does he listen to anybody else? Is he listening to anybody? I don't know. It never really seemed like he was. Not really. And so, I mean, people that don't listen to me, and then I see them railing on and on how nobody's listening to them, I just laugh. So that video, that's a High on Fire. That band is called High on Fire. That album dropped like 6 months ago. And that song, I can't remember what the name of that song is called, but the video, I posted that video on my channel on BitChute. It's one of like 3 videos I posted. And I just had that one for the longest time because I have no interest in communicating with people on BitChute or anywhere really, because people don't listen. And so I posted that video to mock all these people that are complaining that nobody listens to them, because nobody listens. Like I said, these are people that would never listen to me. These are the same people that never listen to me, even though I can provide facts upon facts upon facts upon facts all day long. And they'll never listen to me. I mean, I've observed these very people not listen to me. But then they're always complaining how nobody listens to them. But I've observed them for years never listening to me. And still to this day, they never will. They'll never connect the dots of how homelessness and all these lockdowns and all this shit is related to how all this interconnects and the dots connect on. They never will. But then they're very upset that nobody's listening to them about the Jays and all this other stuff. And it's just kind of like, if you don't have, and you refuse to listen to others, and you refuse and reject the humility to be able to listen to what other people are saying, and then nobody is listening to you, who do you have to blame? Who do you have to blame? So anyways, there was some other points I wanted to try to touch on, but I'm failing to remember exactly. But generally, the point I'm making, this is like the way it is. So yeah, no one will listen to you, dude. Nobody's gonna listen to anything you have to say. I already know. I saw the the 2019-2020 thing with lockdowns. I saw that coming years ago. And I told people, I've been telling people for years, dude, this whole lockdown thing, this is what a U.S. homeless citizens experience all day, every day. That's what they've been experiencing, all this lockdown and shit for years prior to 2019. And I kept telling people, the more you ignore it, it's gonna eventually come for you. Nobody listened, nobody cared. The liberals didn't listen, the conservatives, the non-political, nobody. Then it happens. And I can't help but just laugh. And I'm watching videos of people getting all butthurt about the lockdowns, and it's like, well, maybe now you know what the homeless experience. And you don't like it, do you? But you didn't mind when it was happening to the homeless. So, but then when it starts happening to you, all of a sudden you're upset and everybody needs to start standing up and doing something. Like, that's not the way the real world works. And I guarantee you, the master class has been observing and analyzing human behavior. Barnes was right. Like, the master class are highly advanced in the psychology of the mind, and they've been observing. It's been a litmus test. So they treat the homeless employ a police state and they employ lockdown type scenarios and all this stuff on all these homeless people, and they analyze and observe people's response and reaction, and they see that none of these people care. And then they think, well, if they don't care, then we can do it to them. And then it happens to them, and what do? Nobody's really doing anything but crying. They're just all butthurt and crying, and so I'm just sitting back laughing the whole time. That's why I've never really cared that much for Covidiodrome and all this stuff about the shots. Like, well, why would I care? I didn't get it. I didn't get so why would I care? I mean, you know, I've already experienced homelessness on the street for 10 years. It's like 10 years of lockdown. That's all it is. 10 years of all this shit, right? And so then it starts happening to all these people who've never cared about anything or anyone but themselves, and it's just comedy. That's all it is comedy. So whatever, man. No one will listen to you.